ChalkWild! Hello everybody, welcome back to ChalkWild. I'm your instructor Michael, and today we are learning how to draw Bluey. Yes, today we will learn how to draw the healer family. However, it's not exactly hard to draw Bluey and her family. Let me show you. Now, if you look at Bluey, and you look at Bingo, and Chili, and Bandit, you realize they're all rectangles. Now, Bandit and Chili are bigger rectangles, while Bluey and Bingo are smaller rectangles. Bluey's a little bigger than Bingo, of course, because she's the older sister. But they're all rectangles. And aside from other little identifying features like Bandit having a full face mask and a fluffier tail, while both Bluey and Bingo both have patches over each eye, they're not exactly all that different when it comes down to drawing them. So instead of this learning how to draw just Bluey and her family, we're going to learn how to draw Bluey and everyone else. Now, we're not going to go and actually draw every single other dog in Bluey because, well, that's a lot of dogs. That is a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs. But you can learn how to break these dogs down into shapes and make it easier for you to draw. Let me explain. Like I said, Bluey and her family are rectangles. They're just different sizes of rectangles. So let's start by drawing Bluey. And to do that, we're going to draw a big rectangle. Then we're going to put a smaller rectangle here. And then using a different color, we're going to use a rectangle on its side to make her nose and muzzle. Then we're going to put some ovals for some eyes. We'll clean up what's inside the muzzle area. And this is what I actually recommend using paper trick, so you don't have to spend time erasing and you don't waste markers. Next, we're going to put some triangles up here for your ears. Then some thin rectangles for the legs. And you notice that this is all just shapes right now, and it could be pretty much anybody. This could actually be Bandit, maybe Chili if it was different colors, or even Uncle Stripe. But we're going to be doing Bluey, so we're going to go ahead and continue on. And we're going to make her belly. And we're going to make her paw. And her feet. Then we're going to put this oval shape right here to make the bottom part of her muzzle. Then we're going to draw in her smile. Put in the eyes. Make sure to put the patches over both eyes, because Bluey's eyes actually have patches rather than a full face mask like Bandit does. We're going to put smaller triangles for her inner ear. Then we're going to make her nose. Then we're going to make her tail. Make it fluffy. And make sure it's dark at the end. And we put her stripes on her back. And there we go. We have Bluey. Now here's a better example. We have Bluey, Bingo, and Muffin. Yeah, Muffin. Muffin's my favorite. But if you look, they're all rectangles, but they're just different sizes. Bluey is the tallest because she's the oldest. Bingo is the second tallest because she is a little older than Muffin. And Muffin is a little more square than she is rectangle, only because she's smaller. Big, medium, small. Now since I've already shown you how to draw Bluey, I'm going to show you the difference between all three of these girls. So we start off with Bluey with her big rectangle, and then we use a small rectangle for Muffin, and then a medium-sized one for Bingo. We draw in her feet, her tail, legs, everything we just went over. Same thing. I actually recommend using the paper trick for this and drawing this out on paper first, so that way you don't waste your markers. As you can see, I've drawn this so many times that I can do it straight from memory. That's what you want to do. You want to build up your muscle memory when it comes to drawing these characters.
using the same shapes we used to draw Bluey, we can use that to draw a muffin. We got the eyes, we got the muzzle and the nose, we got our eyebrows, triangles for the ears. I'm actually going to use a different color so you can see the eyebrows. So you can see the ears better because it doesn't really show enough. But yeah, then we use the legs, the tail, the arm. There we got Muffin. And then here we go, the same way we're drawing Bluey and Muffin, we draw Bingo. They're all drawn the same way. It's just the little defining features that make them who they are. Just the different colors, or the different type of spots, or the different type of patches, or just how big they are. And there we go, we have all three of them.
So that's where you can break up the healer family. And you can break up the rest of the healers like Bandit Chili or Uncle Stripe, all of them. But let's move on to the other dogs. Now if you look at someone like Winton, Winton is a square. He's just a square. He's a big square. Well, not a big square. He's a little dog, but you know, I mean, he's just a square. But you make him into a square, like so. Contrast to someone like Snicker, who is a very long rectangle. But you can actually break them down.
So to start off with Winton, we're going to go ahead and draw a box. Because that's pretty much what he is a box. And then for Snickers, we're going to go ahead and draw a very long rectangle. Then we're going to put this triangle shape on the side right here, which kind of looks like a tortilla chip. And then a circle for his tail, because Winton has a little curled up tail. And then we're going to make rectangles for the arms and the legs. Then another bigger tortilla chip for Snickers' ear, because Snickers' ear is really big and it's floppy. Winton's are floppy too, but they're just smaller because he's a smaller dog. Then we're going to draw oval here for his muzzle. We put two lines like this, another one down here for his mouth, and then you can use another color here for his nose. And then we're going to draw his eyes. Draw his pupils. Draw the patches on his face. They go around like this. And there's also some right here on his side. Draw on his feet, his little paw. And put in his eyebrows. All the dogs here have eyebrows, so don't forget those. We'll also put a little shape right here for his other ear, where you can barely see, but it's still there. So there's Winton. Now, we can do the same thing with the rectangle muzzle that we did with Bluey for Snicker, because Snicker has a rectangle muzzle like that, and we can actually do a little triangle down here for the bottom of his lip. Again, I recommend using a paper strip so you don't have to keep doing this and cleaning stuff up, because this wastes a lot of time and wastes a lot of marker. Then we make the eyes. We make his nose, his other ear, and we make his hand. And we don't make it very long because Snickers' feet and hands are very short, just like Winton's, while the rest of his body is kind of long. And then there's his tail, and that's how you make Winton and Snicker.
Let's break other dogs down, like Pom Pom and Coco. They're both circles, where Coco is circles that are connected to make her form. Pom Pom is just a circle. Really, honestly, if you look at her, she's just a circle. All you do is just make the little cloud shape around her, and boom, there she is, circle.
So let's go over this and make a circle for Pom Pom. Then we draw in her eyes. Two little nubs down here for her feet, because her feet are very short and her arms are very short. And then while we're at it, we're going to make a circle for Coco. And we're going to go one up here, and one right here, and one right here, and one right here. Now, these are just circles and they're not really connected. Some of them are intersecting with each other, but they don't really look like anything. But as soon as we do this, we connect them all and they start looking like Coco's form. We're going to go back to Pom Pom now and make her ears, make some eyebrows. Then we're going to make this shape for her nose and muzzle. You can actually make that out of, you actually make her smile out of that. And then you make her feet. And then, like I said, just go and make that cloud shape around her. And again, I recommend using the paper trick for this because you can actually save a lot on your markers. Now let's go ahead and finish up Coco. We can go ahead and draw in her eyes. Then we're going to draw in her nose, which is actually kind of this stretched oval shape. And we put in her nose right there. Put in her pupils. Just the ear palm to her head. And then we're going to draw some rectangles right here to attach her hands and her tail. And then we're going to add in her barrette. And her eyebrows. And there we go. We have Coco.
All in all, this lesson really isn't how to draw them. It's more how to break them down so you can draw them. And you can do that with any other dog in here. And go ahead and try with any other dogs. I recommend using the paper trick to save the life of your markers. And so you can get this down using muscle memory. What's muscle memory? Muscle memory is basically if you do something over and over and over and over again, you learn it just by not thinking about it. It's kind of like how when you learned how to tie your shoes, or you learned how to snap, or you learned how to whistle. You can just do it without thinking about it now. You don't think about it anymore because you've done it so many times, you don't have to think about it. That's muscle memory. And if you don't know how to do that, well, just keep practicing and you'll learn how to do it. And if you keep drawing Bluey and the rest of her friends, you're going to learn how to draw them without having to think about it. Bluey is an amazing cartoon made very simply. In fact, that's the beauty of Bluey. It's very simple. There's not a lot of complex animation. It's simple. Use simple shapes and animate them. Well, that's it for today's lesson, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And more importantly, I hope you learned something. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next lesson. And until next time, bye.